Today on Tanaka Homestead, I want to talk to you about some post-hurricane considerations for your backyard chickens. So we made it. Hurricane Milton plowed through our area as a Category 3 hurricane. Luckily, we didn't have any damage to our home, but we still don't have any power, and we have to run everything off a generator. I'm grateful though that nobody got hurt, and of course that our home and everything is intact. We realize that there are many people out there who lost everything, so we are very grateful, and we definitely will continue to pray and keep those people in our thoughts who did have a really bad experience with Hurricane Milton. When you live in Florida, you have to be prepared for these storms. Some storms pop up with little to no warning and it looks terrible, wind and rain and all. And then other storms like hurricanes, you can do a little bit more preparing for, but it's still a lot. So as far as chickens in your backyard, you kind of have to have a game plan. You know, some people will move their chickens indoors, which I have done in the past in my garage. I just wasn't able to do it this time. My neighbors were kind enough this go around to allow me to put my chickens in their workshop, which worked great. Not everybody has that ability, you know, not everybody has the means to do that or the space to do that. So you really have to kind of have your game plan as far as what you're going to do to secure the coop and so forth if you're keeping them outdoors. Everybody gets so concerned about what to do with their chickens before the storm, and I definitely agree that that's very important. But after the storm, there are some important things to consider. The first thing is check your coop thoroughly. Check the entire perimeter. You want to make sure there's no structural damage. Of course, if there is, that gives your chickens the opportunity to get out of their coop and puts them in danger. But not only that, if it's structural damage, it could potentially put your chickens in danger. So you want to make sure to do that. The other thing is to check your coop for leaks, because that can be a little bit of an issue over time. And you want to make sure if there's any debris in your coop, you remove it, because depending on what the debris is, it could potentially be an issue for your girls. Once you've inspected your coop thoroughly, you've removed all debris, you want to make sure to clean out the coop, the poop tray and so forth, so that your chickens go back to a nice clean coop, which is going to help to minimize stress. So a couple of things, you know, not everybody has the ability to remove their chickens, whether it's space issues or time or whatever, prior to a storm. Not everybody can put their chickens in a garage or a shed or whatever. So either way, if you're removing your chickens from their coop and putting them in a shed or garage, or your chickens are staying in the coop during a storm, they're going to be super stressed. Okay, so it's very possible that with that stress, egg laying may be down. So you may not notice as many eggs as you normally do. It may take a little bit of time for them to get back in their rhythm. But of course, if your chickens stayed in the coop during the storm, for whatever reason, you want to make sure to check all your girls thoroughly, making sure that they don't have any wounds or any issues, because that could be catastrophic. And if it's something minor, you could potentially deal with it right then and there and just continue having your happy, healthy flock. You want to make sure that their water and food containers are filled, they have fresh water, fresh food, and that they're overall behaving like they normally do. You want to keep a close eye on them over the next few days just to make sure nothing crazy happens, but that's pretty much it. Like I said, after a storm, because of the stress of either being moved to a new location or riding out the storm in the coop, the chickens can be stressed. So I'm interested to see if they laid any eggs. Let's see here. All right, I'll take it. I have to be honest, I thought for sure that this Eglu, no offense to Eglu, was gonna just blow across my yard, as well as my big run enclosure over there. My Eglu has really held up to the elements. I'm talking, as you know, Category 3 hurricane. Now, There was not like a tree that landed on it. Of course, that is probably going to damage anything, but tons of debris. My husband spent hours out here cleaning everything up in our yard and around the coop. So very fortunate, but I mean the winds, 120 mile an hour winds. I mean, let's face it, I'm impressed. I'm definitely impressed, and I would say kudos to Eglu for building such a strong, sturdy coop. That's about it. Hopefully that information was helpful. Just keep in mind, when you have chickens, it's a responsibility. And you know, it doesn't matter where you live. Maybe hurricanes are not your thing, but in the area that you live, you have tornadoes. Or maybe you live in an area that gets a lot of snow. You know, I mean, there's different types of weather patterns out there depending on where you live. And these chickens rely on you to have a happy, healthy, and productive life. So thank you so much for watching my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. And happy chicken raising. Bye-bye.